Hey, what's up? I'm Roller Coaster Rider.
Konnichiwa, I'm Kay. How you
And
doing?
yes, we know we owe you guys a long overdue review of Great America's Fright Fest. We know that's coming. Don't you worry, kids. Well, we're we decided to hang out for about a week and a half with a group that, yeah, I'll say it, I only posted on their Facebook page, the American Coaster Enthusiasts.
Yep, people that like coasters.
Mm-hmm. And sports, apparently. And about 160, 170 people all went on this trip where we went to, what, 17 parks?
Well, because of the typhoon, a couple got canceled.
Only one did. And we did the entire trip. We already did, earlier in the year, we did our top 10 things that we're each looking forward to in 2018. And many of the attractions were based on were based on the Japan parks.
Yes.
So the first one so when did we land?
We got there on
Sep
Saturday,
the
September
21st.
22nd.
I thought we got there the 21st.
We flew to LA
Oh,
and then
okay. Yeah,
because you go over the international date line.
we flew into LAX and then we flew from LAX to Haneda.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want our tips, Haneda is significantly closer to Tokyo than Narita Airport.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a choice, well, enjoy the taxi fare or bus fare. So we went to Tobu Zoo, home of four coasters and stuff. And this park,
But don't you want to learn a little bit about Tobu Zoo or just get right into just the coasters?
you can say it. You can be the fact person. And I'll just say
Okay.
ride stuff.
So, what we learned about Tobu Zoo before we went is they told us it was a classic zoo notable for its white Bengal tigers, flower gardens, and it was fairly large amusement park. Standout coasters are the massive wooden,
Regina.
right, and megalite.
The American translation. This is pretty funny. Gliding water coaster Kingfisher.
And then also, didn't they have?
Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, that's pretty much.
Trying to
They
figure.
call it the hybrid
Hybrid.
Leisureland. And at this park, being our first park, everybody wanted to do as much as possible.
Now this park is where we parked. You have to walk through. You have to walk next to their interesting looking water park, and then there's a huge chunk of animals that you have to walk past.
Mm-hmm.
So this park is already legend approved. He
I
likes zoos.
Good. I wouldn't know that myself. So
We're not the biggest zoo
I
dudes.
am.
Okay.
And every park had a Ferris wheel. I
Yeah,
think every park did.
almost every major park. Some people say it's a speculation because in Japan you're not allowed to show affection, but I guess in Ferris wheels you're allowed to show affection.
Well, because you're not by anybody else.
My
You're
theory,
up how many? 300 feet, 400 feet, whatever.
my theory is that based on what we've known or based on what we saw, Ferris wheels can operate in rain or snow.
Yeah.
That's my theory. You can take it. It might be wrong. Anyway, the we had ERT on two coasters. I'm gonna say the King or the Kawasimi because Kingfisher sounds weird. We had ERT on that, and we had ERT on Regina. Some people went to the Megalite first. I decided to do the long walk and go to Regina. Probably not the smartest idea because Regina had higher capacity, but whatever. Anyway, it's a intimate wooden coaster. It's not the prefab, but it's like the old style, but it has intimate trains, so there you go. I rode with somebody and I was like, well, my back served me well for almost 30 years. Might as well destroy it on this trip. So, and I was thinking that it was just going to be terrible because that's just how I felt that, or that's just how I heard that most coasters in the country were not top 10 material. So I was prepared. I was prepared for the worst. And on this ride, I was really amazed at how smooth it was. I was like saying, I was worth this. I told the guy, might as well say his name, Jeremy. Anyway, I was telling him that, man, this is smooth. It rides like Viper. And then we were about to go into the Helix, and then he said, and here's where it becomes Eagle. But that was also smooth. So we were like, yay! I was having fun. I was getting some. I don't know if I got some airtime, but it was a very smooth wooden. It was a very smooth ride. There was a lot of applause on many of the coasters. Some of them might have been just that we were happy that the ride was over, but we had to like fake enthusiasm. This one was where I was like, wow, this is actually a really good coaster. It might have also been that it was the first coaster on the trip, so we didn't have the scars of war, so to speak. Because when you go on like the eighth, when you're at like the 12th day or like the 14th amusement park, you kind of show wear and tear. But yeah, it was a good ride. And then we went to my first of the infamous Intamin Megalites. Now, I'm gonna put a disclaimer. I'm not a huge fan of I-305, the larger version of this at King's Dominion, and I am definitely not a fan of Lightning Run at Kentucky Kingdom, which is like Chance Morgan's version of this. So I was expecting to feel like I-305, where I felt like I was going to get my neck chopped off. Ironically, no, this is significantly better than both I-305 and Lightning Run. I don't know if I'd put it in maybe my top 10 roller coasters that I've been on, or top 10 steel coasters, but it was definitely a very fun attraction. I would have ridden this probably again later in the day. However, they only run one train, so that's one train with like 12 people at a time, 12 or 16 people. So
And we were only there until about noon.
we were only there a couple of hours. Even ERT, even when it wasn't ERT, it was like an hour wait. So it wasn't like it was a dead day. It seems that Japan likes to run one train on their coasters for probably a safety issue or something. And I think this was the first park that I noticed that they were playing a lot of American songs, which I found interesting. So, um, this probably won't get to very many people, but I'm just curious. Japanese people, when there's a song that's in English, is that does that sound just like gibberish or like background decoration noise,
No,
or is that something where it's like you know the lyrics,
they learn the
or you
lyrics.
understand what they're saying?
Yes, they learn the lyrics, just
Okay,
like in other countries.
okay, because that I've wondered about, especially at Fuji Q, where a lot of it is where all they were playing was American songs. We'll get to that park later. But I was just amazed at how they're playing American songs. Meanwhile, at Six Flags Mexico, the only English song I understood was the Jeopardy theme song.
Hmm.
Hey, Coaster Kitty, again. Okay, after that, we saw a bunch of like really small kids rides and a bunch of really weird attractions. We didn't do them, but we saw them. And then I went for the, what is the name of that coaster? The Tentour Mushi? Is that how you say that? The family coaster. It's a Zaire Tivoli medium, I believe. It's okay. It's pretty fun. Uh, then we went into Galaxy Walkers. Uh, Kay, did you do this one?
I don't remember what was it.
Oh no, you didn't. Two other guys did it with me. Uh, Kay. When she was auditioning to be a female James Bond, she kind of hurt herself, and so as a result, she had to walk with a cane.
Oh, is that the walkthrough thing where you
Yeah,
went to one of two rooms?
yeah, that was the one where they wouldn't let you do it because you had a cane, and they thought you would like destroy the mirrors or something.
Yeah, and I have carpal tunnel, so I had wrist guards on. So they didn't want me to hurt anybody or myself.
Better luck next time at a movie audition. So anyway, I went in with two people. Oh God, I can't remember their names. This is terrible because I sat by them a lot on the bus and they were really nice to me. I think they did it with me. No, just other people? Okay,
It was a
sorry.
mom and her son. They were.
No,
Oh, I thought it was.
no, it was two other guys.
Oh, okay, whatever.
But anyway, this was basically. I've never done this, but I have to imagine it's pretty similar to Magic Quest, where you go through a mirror maze and then you go through another mirror maze and or a glass maze, and then at the end you have three balls and you have to determine which one weighs the exact same amount that a previous ball weighed, and then you put it down a hole and then you're out.
So it's almost like an escape room,
Yeah,
but you do the mirror mazes first.
it's a really weird escape room. And then we did we say I did the fourth coaster because Kay was still in pain from her James Bond audition. So I went on Diggy and Dougie's trolley coaster, which, if you're familiar with what is it? A Tiger Terror or a Dragon Wagon, it's pretty similar to that, where you do kind of a curve up and then you do a helix down and then you do a curve back to the station. So chances are if you see something called Dragon Wagon or Dragon, it's pretty similar to that. They had a huge playground that I thought about doing, but I never did. Spoiler alert, I got dared to do a playground and I did. Remember?
Yeah, but they wouldn't let you in without a kid. One of them.
Oh yeah, that was the Fuji Q one. So then after that, then it was time to grab our belongings before we turned into pumpkins.
Yep, get back on the bus.
And then we went to Tokyo Dome City, previously LaQua, I think. LAQUA, I think that's what it was called. Now, some of the attractions here that I was really interested in that I was really looking forward to was where is
The Thunder Dolphin.
the Thunder Dolphin, the dive, and especially since Dark Castle closed, I was excited to do kind of the best way I can describe it is imagine an anime and then imagine a knockoff of an anime. And
Okay.
that's what it looked like. It had like Spider-Man, Transformers, Dark Castle technology, and it was called Tokyo. Was it? Yeah, Tokyo Panic Cruise. However, Tokyo Dome City,
Huge, a lot of eating, a lot of shopping.
it's kind of like this is what
Mall of America is like.
no this is what like a this would be a perfect for Vegas in terms of what kind of thing it is, where it's a giant mall. Um, there might even be, yeah, there's a hotel nearby. And there's amusement rides that are scattered. So because it's pay per ride and because it's free admission, that part gets jammed. It was so jammed that they were running one train on Thunder Dolphin, but then they added a second train. And then we figured out why the line was so long. Um, this has nothing to do with it, but we were like, no, we're gonna fast pass it. I'm not waiting like an hour and a half for one train intimate coaster. So we tried walking around thinking, oh, we could do. Oh, and we sadly found out that
To do a
Tokyo.
water ride or something else, but
Yeah,
everything else had hour-long
yeah,
lines.
the log flume hour long line. Um the dive hour long line. I think even the carousel had like a 20, 30 minute line. It was like,
And your
Wow.
fast pass was like what, 45 minutes? So there
Yeah.
was no way you could do another ride. So we just kind of walked around a little
Mm-hmm.
bit and then tried to find our way back.
And at this park, if you're kind of a there's no way to, I don't know what the term is. If you're a Westerner or an American and you're like, I don't want any Japanese food, I just want like burgers and fries. This park had what, a McDonald's, it had a Taco Bell, and it had a KFC.
Yep. And it had a convenience grocery store there.
But what's odd is that the KFC didn't have an English map or an English guide, so you had to kind of point to stuff that you wanted. So that was
That
kind
was
of,
fun.
yeah, that was kind of interesting. But anyway, I finally got on Thunder Dolphin. Um, One reason why the queue line was so long is, and I've noticed this a lot with Japan. Apparently, Japan doesn't like strangers next to each other. So, if you're a single rider, you'll often get a entire row to yourself, and sometimes that's whatever, like on a two across coaster. But later in this trip, I was a single rider on the Jurassic Park River Adventure at Universal Japan, and I got an entire row to myself. Versus in Orlando, I was with like three other people. So they did an entire train of just fast pass people, and the trains can hold like 28, 32 people. I don't think there were even 20 on that train, and it was
Really?
just fast pass people or you know what I mean by that.
Was the dome covered? Because I thought the coaster went outside when we were on the top level.
The mall was covered, the amusement park sections for the most part weren't.
Okay, that's what I thought. So,
But yeah, that ride, it's not necessarily designed for thrills. It's more designed to, I felt this and other people did too. Maybe I was just the only one. But it felt to me like it was built to get your attention more than let's make this an extreme ride. Because there were a lot of sections that this is famous for going through the Ferris wheel, and the first time I did, and I only did it once, but I barely noticed I was going through the Ferris wheel just because it was during a turn and it was like very quick. But not a lot of airtime. There was less airtime on this than on the Megalite, which is 140 feet
but
shorter.
did you get any views of Tokyo? I mean, you were pretty high up.
I didn't have my glasses on, so I didn't
Oh,
know. Oh, and Hyde has mentioned this, and it's true. In this, you have to like show that you don't have anything in your pockets twice.
yeah. You have to take like the lining out of your pocket to show them.
No, I just did that just because it was easier.
But a lot of them had like free lockers or
Mm-hmm.
whatever that you could keep the
I don't
stuff.
know if this one did though.
No, I don't think they had room for lockers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you probably had to pay for lockers,
And
but
what's weird is that you had to wait in the
oh, you
queue.
had to pay for lockers. That's right.
Oh yeah, but what was
To
weird?
the
Yeah,
left of the Fast Pass
but what was weird
booth.
about this is that uh, most of the time, unless it's like 5 minutes or less, I'll just get a fast pass. Usually, when I go to big parks, I get a fast pass anyway, or the equivalent to that. What's weird is that with this one, you had to wait in line like 10 or 15 minutes just to get a fast pass
Well, and they only gave out so many per hour.
per half hour. I thought.
I thought it was per hour. Maybe it was
I think it
half
was half
hour.
hour. So yeah, kind of a hectic, confusing case right there. That was the only ride we went on at this park because everything else was like an hour wait, and we were kind of tired because we had walked what felt like a half a mile to Tokyo Dome from where we got dropped off.
Yeah. And then no breadcrumbs to lead you back to where
Yeah,
you got dropped off.
we were like, hey, where are you guys going? But anyway, it was It was interesting. I'm glad I got to ride it.
Good.
Next up is... Do you have anything
Well,
else?
and that day too, we got to the hotel halfway decent time. But man, I was tired from the flight and everything else, so
Mm-hmm.
kind of relaxed.
Okay, then we went to Toshimaen.
Yep.
Narrator, go ahead and say what was at Toshimaen, if you want.
Tashaman was built primarily as a water park. Tashaman debuted in 1965 with the family-friendly Togo log coaster and the world's first lazy river. The major thrill coaster there is an Aero Corkscrew, which was built in 1979. I'm going to start sounding like our bus leader.
Well, if that's the case, then you should say, stop correcting me. That was a joke, jeez.
I know. Tashaman had 4 coasters.
Mm-hmm. And
The earliest one built was Togo in 1965.
Togo?
That was manufactured, built by Togo.
Then why don't you say what the name of the coasters were?
Oh, Cyclone. And then the next oldest was the Corkscrew by Aero, 1979. And then Mack did a Blauenzian.
Yeah.
And then 2009 was a Hoyi whatever Sangyo. And that was a mini cyclone. That was a family.
I think we did Mini Cyclone first. We had ERT on Mini Cyclone. Didn't we have ERT on all the coasters that morning?
ERT from 9 to 10. I think it was only on 2 coasters, wasn't it?
Well, we did the mini coaster just to get it out of the way. It was okay. I don't remember much about it. Oh, something I need to mention about Toshimaen. On this trip, spoiler alert, we did not find a single Walmart or a single Target or a single Best Buy. But do you know what this park had?
What?
A Toys R Us.
Ah, it wasn't Costco. It was Toys R Us.
So that was weird. I was like, what? So anyway, we rode the, what did I say, Mini Cyclone?
Yep.
Then after that, Jeremy and I went to the Cyclone Coaster where it was okay, but it felt more like a monorail than a roller coaster because there were a lot of times where, like, not much airtime and it was just pretty much made to, like, go around. And I was okay with that, you know, gotta have the family rides. Then I rode Corkscrew, which is an Aero Corkscrew. And what's cool about this is, similar to other some other Aero looping coasters, like at Cedar Point, you can actually walk underneath the corkscrews.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The fourth coaster, I'll just get the coasters out of the way first. Even though that's not the order that we did. We rode... I'll just say what it is. The Mack powered coaster where I think we went around like 7 or 8 times. It was kind of weird. And what's weird about this park, and something kind of all parks should do, is that when they don't have room on the ground, they put an attraction above stuff. So, yeah, they put rides on top of buildings. They had two pirate ship rides on top of a building. This mine train coaster was on top of a bike rental building and kids area building. Let's see, what else? We went through Jungle House, which... Does that say what it was? These English maps are not always the best in terms of just saying what the ride was. So I'm having to do some memory flashbacks on what some of them were. It's my fault, not theirs. Anyway, Jungle House, which I think that was a fun house? No, oh. Because I know we went through a dark ride. Stall.
With what? I do have to say that the work that they put into putting this whole tour, and some people wanted to spend more time at some parks than other parks and everything, but I think the people that put it together for our group of enthusiasts did a heck of a job. And our bus was the orange bus, Yama Yama.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a great bus leader.
But yeah,
Um,
Jungle House, I don't know what that was. I don't remember.
the one thing nice about the first hotel, they had a convenience store right in the hotel
Mm-hmm.
and a gift shop. Most of them had gift shops, but the second and third hotel, their gift shops were a little bit pricey for me. But it was nice to have that convenience store right there. Just go down, and if you needed a soda, a bottle of water, something simple to eat or whatever. But yeah, breakfast was pretty good at that first hotel too.
Yep. And I going on these international trips, it's kind of funny what they think Americans have for breakfast. Because in Mexico we had
Well, that wasn't just Americans, that was Western.
yeah, but in Mexico for the breakfast buffet they had hot dogs, and for this one they're like in a French accent because that's really the only accent I can really do very well. That's noticeably different. What do Westerners have for breakfast? Flies and tater tots.
They were probably, instead of hash browns or something, they were at least giving you a potato. And
Yeah.
I enjoyed the fish. I mean, my breakfast was probably more of a brunch because it was fish and it was root vegetables and then whatever potato,
Banana.
hard boiled egg, a banana, yogurt and fresh fruit, kiwi. But yeah,
And something that was weird, something I don't think I've ever seen in a breakfast buffet. Churros.
why not? They were all over Japan in all the amusement parks.
Yeah, but I've never seen them as a buffet option before.
Hmm.
So we went in Jungle House, which I want to say was just a fun house. I'm not sure. We went in the Japanese haunted house, which was a walkthrough, and Kay is not a fan of haunted attractions, but
That was that haunted hospital.
no, it was
Oh,
one of them that we went through where it was with that guy, not Jeremy. Well, I don't think it was Jeremy. It might have been that other guy.
we went through the haunted hospital with the other guy from New York.
Yeah, this is somebody else. Or maybe it was. No, no, this was with Jeremy. I'm sorry. It was with that other guy. I'm getting. I really should have written some of this stuff down. Uh.
But we were being spontaneous
Mhm.
and trying to get you your coaster count and then doing other things that I could do.
We went through a mirror house, which is a mirror fun house.
Is that the one that we couldn't get through right away?
It
No.
might. I don't know.
No,
All the
no,
fun.
that
All,
other one
yeah.
was the one that had the coasters that we couldn't ride because of hurricane conditions. That had the
Oh,
slope
okay. Yeah, yeah,
slider,
yeah, yeah. Slope shooter.
slope shooter, sorry.
And then we went in Mystery Zone, which was a regular dark ride, which was kind of weird. I don't remember a whole lot, do you?
Hmm. It was long.
Mm-hmm. And this is when we get into the. They had something called Trick Maze, but that was a ride upgrade. So I was like, no thanks. This is when someone dared me, so I did it. Jeremy dared me to go in the the big kids playground, and I was like, okay. So I just showed my wristband or showed my ticket, and then walked in. And then I went down, and then I went up the big, or then I climbed up to the big slide, and then I went down the big slide, where it was really cool because unlike being a regular slide, it was on rollers. And because of England on those little scooters, and because there was a mother and son in front of me, I made sure to go as slow as possible just to make sure that nothing bad would happen to me or the kid.
Yep.
I didn't want to get in trouble this soon.
Well, but then we had to get you and say, okay, we got to get going.
Okay. Yeah, you guys were thinking like, is he stuck? And I was like, no, I was actually just like trying to I was trying to like slow myself down as much as possible so that way, it would be okay because otherwise I might have gone down that thing full speed. That was fine. Or, yeah, it was fine. It was fine. Then we went on probably the thing that had us most interested, Carousel El Dorado. This is one of the many carousels that we rode on this trip. Wait, did we ride other carousels?
I did, but not you.
Okay. So, what was so unique about this carousel is it was actually technically three carousels in one, and I don't mean that by it's three levels or anything.
Yeah, but the inner one was a little bit higher than the outer one.
What I mean by that is that there were there was the carousel, and there were three sections of it, and each one went a little faster. The outer one went the slowest, and the inner one went the fastest. Kay was in the slower one because, like I said, she tried to audition to be a female James Bond.
Don't listen to him.
Oh, then why don't you reveal what actually happened?
I don't need to.
She wanted to be a female James Bond. I told her she should have auditioned for Batman.
Okay, back to the story.
But not only that, but I'm gonna keep this PG, but when you were in the inner circle, the fastest, and you looked up, you saw something that some men might like.
So there were beautiful women painted up there, right?
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, but that wasn't what we found so hilarious. What we found so hilarious was that there were Jack Daniel advertisements all around the edge of the carousel.
Whiskey barrels.
So it's like, this wouldn't work. This wouldn't work in the U.S. A carousel themed to beer.
Not themed, sponsored by.
Sponsored by beer,
Daniels.
and not only that,
not beer, whiskey.
Not only that, but also in this amusement park that's in Japan, they had American flags painted on the supports on the outside. It's like, interesting. And you were saying like, well, they're doing it for the Olympics. What else with this one? Oh, I wish I had the other map. But the other thing that's really weird about this park is that, yeah, why don't you say
Japanese?
Why don't you say what the mascots are?
Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, there's you see Tom and Jerry artwork throughout the park, and it's hilarious. You also see there's also a lot of coin-operated rides like you would find outside of a shopping mall.
Yeah, just
or a supermarket.
Some of the big stuffed animals actually move.
That was at Hirokata Park, or the one with Diablo. We'll get to that in a future podcast. Then we decided to go to Yomiyuriland.
Yama.
This park had some weird stuff. What?
Why?
this was the park that had probably some of the better and weirder attractions. Uh, Part of the map is meant. First up, we went to Bandit. It's a Togo coaster that was made as the inspiration for Magnum XL 200, and I said this to Drew the intern, it's a good thing Cedar Point went with Arrow instead of Togo, because, wow, I found this ride unpleasant.
I thought Bandit was a Togo coaster.
Yeah, but Magnum, they were thinking about going with Togo
Oh, that's right.
to
That's
build
right.
that before they went
Yeah.
with Arrow.
Hmm.
But yeah, this one, it's not good. It's pretty terrible, actually. Does this ride only... I think this ride had over-the-shoulder restraints. I'm not sure. Oh, well, I can't remember. Anyway, it was very long and very uncomfortable, and it's one of those things where the ride has long, shallow drops, and for me, when I was in the back, that was probably my big mistake. But, well, I wasn't in the last row, but almost every single drop, it had rattle. So I was banging my head during straight sections. And it's a Togo, so apparently they weren't familiar with how to design turns very smoothly.
Togo, go, go, to.
And no, Drew, they did not play Go Go Bandit. But yeah, that wasn't good.
And that one you did a fast pass for too,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Again, it only ran one train. I wasn't gonna wait like an hour and a half, especially for a Togo.
And a lot of these parks that had fast pass, you got fast pass per ride. You had to pay
Mhm.
for it.
It's up to you to
And to
decide.
know military time.
It was okay. I mean, I've seen Home Improvements. I know how to figure out military time. Yes, folks, Home Improvements in a Japan theme park podcast. Some people say impossible. Some people say, why did you ask me that? I say, because I want to. After that, then we went on Animal Rescue.
Yes, we did.
Go ahead, describe this ride. And this is one of the rides. Thank you, Mr. Hyde. Uh, when I heard the description for this, I was like, okay, I'm definitely going on this. And I told a bunch of people on the bus about this. And in the park, I told a bunch of people, it's like, dude, you've got to go on this. You've got to go on this dark ride. I don't know if it's quite on par with the Silvermine Dark Ride, where it says, get the hell out of here, and in the kids' park, but it's up there in terms of interactive dark rides. Why don't you reveal what it's themed to?
You're shooting at hunters and that are hunting the animals, and then you get to one point and you're shooting the spiders.
Yeah, you're shooting at white spiders, and when you kill them or hit them, they turn green. And the reason why you're supposed to shoot at spiders is because this guy that you've shot at for
Releases them.
points, yeah, it's like a James Bond thing where it just releases a bunch of spiders and then you're supposed to shoot at them. And when someone heard about this, they made a joke like, "This ride sponsored by Blackfish," and then I've kind of changed it to, "This ride sponsored by PETA." In a way, it actually is sponsored by PETA.
Well, it's the wildlife.
Yeah, because in the queue line it says donate to the World Wildlife Fund. So that's interesting. It's like, just add that to the list of attractions that would never work in the US.
True.
I'll save the good job area for last.
Okay.
Then we went on I went on Wan Wan Coaster Wandit, It's pretty much a Vekoma roller skater, but it's themed to this dog that looks like a knockoff Snoopy.
Yeah, but when you went on that, I think I went on that safari,
Yeah,
like Jeep ride. It's
yeah.
like an antique ride, but it was
Antique cars, yeah.
safari Jeeps.
Let me see if I can try to find the name of it. Jurassic Car.
And they actually had hats, like you were going on a safari for the little kids they could wear, and tops and stuff, and get their picture taken, and
Along with an interesting photo section.
yeah. This was a hot day, a very
Yeah.
warm, hot day.
Then I went on the standing and loop coaster, which has two trains, standing and sit down. It's also Togo. Um, it's not my favorite coaster in the park, either version, but they're significantly better than Bandit because, uh, these rides, the standing and loop coaster, are only about like a minute and a half long, and Bandit is like 3 minutes of torture.
Some people didn't mind it, some people didn't like it.
You say go go Bandit, I say no no Bandit.
But after we got done with these, we had to head up the hill.
Yeah, we had to
Lots of stairs
get on up
or
that hill.
up the hill. We probably should have done up the hill first.
And then in cruel irony, I realized an escalator just as we were walking out of the park. I was like, "Oh man, we could have walked." Oh. But anyway, the two coasters were, or no, the two rides that were weird were Spin Runway and Splash UFO. Spin Runway, this is a case of Japan not wanting to put strangers together or something. It's just it's weird and it can't really be explained. Cause it was a Gerstlauer spinning coaster where if you know what those are, those have 4 seats. They never loaded more than 2. But it was wonderful going in that building because that building was cold and air conditioned and I was like,
Mm.
oh. So anyway, that was my favorite coaster. Not only because it was significantly smoother, not only because I spun, not only because I didn't feel like I needed Motrin afterwards,
Oh, good.
but what was also good was Spin Runway, which is themed to a fashion show. At the end of the ride, uh, there's a mirror, and they play an applause sound effect, so you get applauded for being a runway model.
And a lot of people they remembered it was a spinning coaster, but then when you talked about the name or you talked about the park, as soon as you said, you got applauded at the end. Oh yeah, that spinning coaster, that
They're
was
like,
good.
wait, what ride are you talking about? It's like that spinning coaster at the end. You get the applaud. Oh, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the runway.
Mm-hmm.
Custom indoor Gerstlauer themed to couture apparel factory. It was factory, right? And isn't that where that wet ride was?
Yeah, Splash UFO. You don't really get that wet, so I feel like Legend or Drew the Intern might have had some input in designing this ride.
Yeah, but what was the other one?
That is the other one, Splash UFO.
The ramen?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is... I found this on... Some people might get upset at me, but I found this on Richard Bannister's travel guides for Yomiyuriland, and he said there's a rapids ride themed to making ramen, or themed to where you're a bowl of ramen. So, of course, I had to do it, and like 3 or 4 other people also did it, and they originally I think only wanted to send 2 people but we kind of knew each other, and so we were like, no, it's okay, we'll all ride together. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. They're very conscious about what groups are groups and
How many people,
safety.
yeah, how many people are in a car? It's like, they don't, except for maybe like Tokyo, Disneyland, and Disney Seas. Um,
Even there, they would send one
yeah,
person in a car.
they don't really care. Maybe that's just a society thing where Japan doesn't try to send maximum capacity, apart from like Nagashima, I think, try to, but even then, not really on a couple of rides. So
Yeah.
that's
We also did
maybe they're
those.
just a go with the flow, and maybe that's just how they think theme parks operate, the
That
Japanese
one
culture.
flat ride that was like
Yeah,
a.
we'll get to that.
Oh,
But anyway, Splash UFO. Uh, no, Legend didn't design this ride because it doesn't have extreme theming. Uh, he's big on theming.
okay.
So the ride, uh, it's an indoor rapids ride, but you don't really get that wet. Really, it has mainly water slide like sections where if you've ever been on one of those spinning rapids rides, you know how when you crest the lift, there's like a helix? That happened at on this ride in the dark, and most of the effects were projected, but as opposed to like the Gruffalo River ride where the projection is like on a glass that you're looking at, everything else is the projections are mainly. We're back. Anyway, it kind of has. It doesn't. It's not really made to get you that wet because I guess
Sorry.
Japan isn't a fan of like really wet water rides. Just a guess. Um, but yeah, most of the theming is projection effects that, as opposed to like staring, as opposed to you staring at it, you have to look up at the ceiling as it's done, and they don't ever say that you have to look up. Also, it's I guess some kind of interactive attraction, but I had no idea how it was interactive. I saw buttons, so I kept pressing them. So, what are you gonna do? Uh, where is the yummy? Ah, here it is. No, that's Tobu Zoo. Where's the Yomiyuriland now?
Is that this one?
Yeah. Uh, this park also has one of my guilty pleasure. So yeah, most of the theming is the outside teapot, which sadly doesn't pour hot water or water on you. But that's also kind of interesting. Then we then I went on the Kuru Kuru Compass, which is one of my favorite types of attractions where it's a Zamperla magic bike.
Oh, that's right.
And Kay is familiar with this because she rode one in Flamingo Land. It was the
In England, yeah.
yeah, it was the dinosaur or something. Cyclesaur. So I was wondering if she wanted to ride it because, again, she'd be on a bus and maybe she wanted to stretch her legs, but she was like, no. And I was like, you've ridden this before. And she was like, still no. And I was like, whatever.
Well, my knee was stiff.
Yeah, and you didn't have to, whatever.
I know, but it would be pretty funny to just sit there and not pedal. Is that the one that had the huge fans behind them?
Maybe.
A couple of the parks with this pedal yourself to do like a Dumbo ride. You could go as high as you want, or just
Mm-hmm.
come down, or even just stay down at the bottom. They had these huge fans behind, so I don't know if they were wanting fan power or to just
Cool you off.
cool you off in the summer or whatever.
After that, then we did the. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this. We did the tram, which looked like it was sponsored by Legos.
Mm. Yeah, we didn't do the car factory,
No.
but that
Can I do the tram?
go ahead. The tram took us through it.
No, not that tram. The tram that was on the ground.
Oh, you mean the train cars? They were like railroad cars.
It's called tram.
Yeah, but it was like railroad cars, the old day railroad cars that
Yeah,
you had to like pump and pump and pump.
Yeah. And so Kay was worried that she was going to have to do it and that it was going to be really difficult. It was actually really easy.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Then I was a bad kid, a bad
No.
person, because I said, "Ooh, sky cycle. Let's do that." Oh boy.
So I only had one leg that I could really work with. 'Cause
You
it wasn't-
describe this attraction while I get some water. I'm zoning myself out because this was a mistake on my behalf and I apologize.
But anyway, that's okay.
So talk about what it was.
What it was is that you pedaled your way on a
Monorail.
okay? And we went in two buildings, or did we only go in one? We went in the auto.
One build. Yeah, I think just
Yeah,
one
we saw
building.
them trying to build an auto or something. It was the car factory. They're
It
building
was like
autos or
Grease.
something.
It's probably like Grease Lightning
Okay.
in Greece, where they were building that car.
But these little vehicles on this tram were not made for people that were taller.
I'm sorry.
So it was very hard to keep pedaling. I had to keep my right leg off to the side and not get hit by the pedals while I was trying to use my left leg to help Costa Rider here that was trying to almost like lean slanted in this little vehicle so he could at least reach the pedals.
Yeah, I kind of tried. I was still buckled, but and I wasn't like
and you weren't standing.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to do anything like dangerous,
slant.
illegal.
You
but
were a
yeah,
slant.
I was like just trying to like essentially not be seating, not be
Just to
not
give you
sit down.
room that your knees ended up in your under your chin when you were trying to pedal.
Yeah.
And so for a little bit we were far enough ahead that we could take a break because this was excruciating.
Yeah.
We didn't do any more of these types of rides. I'm glad we did it. We got it out of the way.
I'm not.
We got it out of the way in one of the first 4 parks, so we didn't have to keep doing it because we knew what it was going to do. But
oh God,
you worked up. It was a lot of exercise, I'll tell you that much. And it wasn't a short monorail. And thank God we did this one and not the one at that one park that went all the way around and everything. Oh my God.
Oh God.
This was a shorter one too, so we kind of lucked out with that. But yeah, we then had to like start heading down the hill to get towards where the bus was going to be, because you didn't want to be late for the bus.
Oh, talk about the lights.
The lights. Oh, that started to turn on as we were leaving. Yeah, they were kind of pretty. They were outlining a lot of the rides and stuff. So they had a lot of lights. Some of these parks, if we would have even stayed later, and it was odd because it was like 6:30 or wait, what time did we leave? Yomiyuriland. 6 o'clock we left, and it was already getting dark. By the time we got back to the hotel, like an hour later, it was like pitch black out, like 7 o'clock, and it was like just eat something small and shower and be ready for the next day. So the first day for this whole trip they gave us these like cloths that you had to hand wash and take them with you, and believe me, in some of these heated days you needed that cloth to wipe off the sweat.
I think we should talk about like one of the major differences between the US and Japan when it comes to theme parks. You weren't allowed to bring your cane on the Skytram, were you?
No.
So, and did it fit in a locker?
No.
So what happened?
They laid it on top of the lockers.
And what happened? And then what happened when we got off?
They gave it back to me.
Yeah. And at these parks, 90% of the time, the lockers were free.
Yes.
Take notes, almost every single U.S.
And
theme
they
park.
don't search your bags going in, so you could bring bottles of water, Gatorade, soda, whatever. They didn't search your bags going in.
However, on the downside,
they search all your pockets and make sure you take everything out and can't wear glasses and no necklaces, no earrings, no.
No, it's not that.
Rings.
So that's kind of forward thinking for Japan theme parks. What's kind of backwards thinking is that a lot of parks in Japan don't give you free cups of water, and you're like, well, that doesn't have to be every park. You can get by with a drinking fountain. Most of these parks didn't have drinking fountains either.
Well, what it seemed to me like, probably more Americans carried water with them all the time.
Yeah, almost everyone else bought water at these.
Right, so they would
kind of like vending machines.
Right, they would take a break, they would get their water, or they would get their tea, or their juice, or their soda. Then they would have their lunch. They all brought these insulated lunch bags. And then, so it was like they picked the time that they were going to drink, and then they didn't carry around these drink bottles. And like we're all carrying around water, like, oh, I'm dying, I need water. Oh my God, it's hot. No, they would just take a break. Let's have a bottle of water. Let's eat our lunch. And then.
But I do want to say that Toshimaen did refill my water bottle, which gave me a false hope for future parks.
Yeah, but I told you.
Yeah.
Their culture, they don't fill the water.
Not even the KFC in Tokyo Dome City refilled my water bottle.
No, but they gave you a cup of water. Didn't they? You asked them if they had refill soda. They didn't, but they gave you a cup of water.
That was Mossburger or Mosburger.
Mosburger, okay.
Mosburger or Mossburger. It's up to you to decide how that's pronounced.
So anyway, we worked our way down the hill to.
No, we worked our way back up the hill.
No, we were getting ready.
The entrance was at the top of the park. Was at the top of the mountain. Everything else was walking down.
I thought we walked down. We walked down and then went to the left up.
Okay. Yeah, it was exhausting. And then the next day we went to Fuji Q. This park is called the Japanese Six Flags Magic Mountain. That's not true.
Well, it's located near Mount Fuji.
I don't think that's why it's called the Japanese Six Flags Magic Mountain. I would call it more of the Japanese... not as bad... or the Japanese Mount Olympus. Because almost all the problems you can think of with Mount Olympus coasters in the Wisconsin Dells, it's not as, I don't know if it's as bad. It's a little worse here. I would still say Mount Olympus is probably worse though, because I don't know.
Okay, so let's not dwell on it and
anyway,
just discuss this.
Oh, and in response to a previous podcast that I made, Disneyland is worse than this park.
Okay. So let's get off.
This park at least operates attractions in the rain. Disneyland.
Okay. Let's not go there.
Anyway, similar to Yomiyuriland, where I said, "Hey everyone, do the animal rescue," and then people did the animal rescue. Either great minds think alike, or people just heard me. But I was like,
do the mouse.
Yeah, I was saying like do the wild mouse, and then do the kids coaster, and then do the other coasters. And you're probably wondering, wait, why do you want to do the wild mouse? Don't you want to do, like, Fujiyama or Those were all the major coasters I rode.
No, didn't you do
No,
Do Danpa?
no.
You rode 3 coasters that day,
Yeah, the Wild Mouse, the Rock and Roll Duncan,
and
and
Thomas or
no,
whatever.
and Fujiyama.
No, but I do not believe any enthusiasts rode all of the coasters that day.
Yeah, there were 6 coasters. No one rode all 6, and yeah, it was because of the rain policy. Uh,
Here, Coaster Cat, come here.
but unlike some parks but unlike previous years where, if there's a slight drizzle, or if there's a thought that there might be some rain in the few hours, then they'll just shut down everything. That's not true. At least on the day that we went, because their Eurofighter Takashiba Takabashi some. You have to. Okay.
Here's the guide.
Takabashi. I think that's. Yeah, I think.
Didn't you have a guide? I thought I gave you one.
No. Takabashi. Or Takabisha. Takabisha. That I actually saw that running in the rain, and. We're getting ahead of ourselves, but this park was so rainy, and there were so few things to do, that one of the things that we did do, and Kay is actually very terrified of these. What did you do at Fuji Q?
That's where I did the Ferris wheel.
Yeah,
Oh, this is where we did the haunted hospital too.
Yeah.
2 things that I really don't often like to do.
and I think you probably like the Ferris wheel more than the haunted hospital. At least on the Ferris wheel you could sit down.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Haunted hospital was
Well,
up a lot of stairs,
yeah.
down a lot of stairs, up an elevator, down an elevator.
even though you
think
didn't
you're-
really go anywhere, that was just mainly more for show.
Yeah.
At least that's my theory.
We
Disney-
did go down to the basement, the furnace room.
Yeah, but that was also by stairs.
No, the elevator. It was started to take us up and then we went down.
I really think that was just shaking the floor. Disney had something similar to that
Yeah,
for.
but then we would have came out by the
Uh,
other people.
No, because we exited out the other side.
Oh. Japanese people get scared very easy.
Mm-hmm. But anyway,
Me too.
so because I said, "Hey, I'm running to the Wild Mouse. Kay, get speedy passes for Takabisha, Dododumpa, Ijanika, and Fujiyama." Well, you were able to get one of them.
I had 3 or 2 or 3 of them. But they were like hours apart.
Anyway, that's just gonna bring up negative thoughts. This is where I was kind of upset at Kay, but I got over it.
Yeah, very fast. Thank you.
Eventually, I had to. So yeah, my theory was get on the roller coasters that not only had low capacity, but almost all the Mount Olympus coasters are low capacity.
But I think the fast
But
pass
do the
was like $10 a ride here.
Mm-hmm. Or 1,001 or something like that.
10,000.
That'd be $100.
Oh, 1,001, not 100. I'm sorry.
Wow, I hope our dollar isn't that
And
terrible.
it was yen and not won.
Oh, that right. I made
We're
that
not
mistake.
in South Korea.
I made that mistake later during the trip. Should we bring up that incident? Okay. I thought it was funny.
We don't need to right
So
now.
anyway, while everyone was going to like Fujiyama or Takabisha or Dododonpa, I ran to the Wild Mouse, and guess what? So did some other enthusiasts, and I was like, huh, I wonder if they heard me.
Maybe they did. Or
Anyway,
maybe they had the same thoughts
hmm
also.
anyway, it's a wild
Because I don't
mouse.
know if they were on our bus.
Some of them were. I know Jason was.
Okay.
But yeah, rode the wild mouse. Wasn't very good, but I rode it. Then we immediately headed for Thomas Land to ride the Rock and Roll Duncan. Little bit of a delay because Kay uh should I say what happened or should I make up some silly
No, it's just I forgot an item and I had to go back for it.
man, it's like you couldn't walk without it. Um what? Come on, that was kind of funny.
Not really.
So then I rode the Rock and Roll Duncan coaster. It was really small and really short, but I rode it. Uh then we do the what else do we do? Then we do the Thomas the Tank Engine ride where it's a
It was
pretty
like on a wall.
no, the train
Oh, the
ride.
train. We did the train, yes.
So that was kind of fun. Uh And then we went in the gift shop, and I was like, oh man, I have flashbacks to when I collected all Thomas the Tank Engine stuff and
Yeah.
all of these trains.
Embryo.
Mm-hmm. That stuff is still made, actually.
Yep.
Maybe you should buy me some. Nah. Then we went on some weird Ferris. It looked like a Ferris wheel. It was a Ferris wheel if it was only like 20 feet tall, stretched out, and you included a drop.
Did I go on that?
No,
Oh, good.
you were worried it was gonna hurt.
Oh, that was the one against the wall.
Yeah, it was like Thomas and his friends.
Yes.
Wow, they played that song a lot all throughout, and I was like, whew. Not the most annoying ride Q line video. We'll get to that one in maybe part 2 or maybe part 4.
Excuse you. But I think we need to pick these up a little bit. We seem to be dragging right now.
I had some water, folks. I'm sorry. Then we went in the haunted hospital, the infamous, world famous 45-minute long walkthrough, and I think it's 45 minutes because after about the 9th time you're walking up and down stairs, you get really bored. The queue line, or the pre-show, was interesting because basically, spoiler alert, the premise is that there's this girl who looks like the Ring, who looks like the girl in the Ring, and basically she's in a hospital and she goes crazy and she rips the head off of people, and I guess she's taken over the hospital.
I don't know.
Guess.
I don't know. She's there somewhere in there.
But anyway, even though they pulsed it, so they only sent through a couple people at a time. Um, 2 other groups ended up with us.
Right. And we weren't going slow. They were moving fast to catch up to us
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't want to be first. That's okay. You go first.
And there were times where Kay had to be first.
Not many.
Mm-hmm.
Not many at all.
But this was one of the haunted houses where they gave you a flashlight for part of it, but then you had to return it, and you were like, "No, I want to
Why?
keep it."
I want to keep my flashlight. I don't need to return it.
Anyway,
But when you're watching this little film,
yeah, at the beginning.
oh my god, you get spooked out.
Mm-hmm.
You're
No
like,
spoilers.
you're like, you think something is going to happen, and you're waiting and waiting, and if it happens,
And then it doesn't happen, really.
yeah, it did, but
Would you say it is worth the hype?
the haunted hospital.
Yeah.
No, I'd say that the one in England that we went through that we didn't have to pay for.
And you didn't even go through the scary one.
Right. That one was probably scarier. That one you had to keep your hand on the person's shoulder in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't want anyone to drift or fall away.
And you didn't do this one, but to me the far scarier one would be the second haunted house that I did. I can't remember what the name of it was.
But the one thing that was interesting about
Or this is not Kenny or Rockceratops approved right now because I can't remember the name of the haunted house that I did at Alton Towers.
But anyway, this one, since we had the two other groups with us, because they let you go in like groups of 2, 3, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
And when they caught up to us, and then we got to one point where our group and the second group were together, and we got separated from the third group, and we're like, should we wait for them? And they're like, no, keep going. But I mean, you walk into some of these rooms and you just know somebody is lying still.
And not only that,
and alive.
but they had like a choose your own direction. Like, do you want to go to the left through a door, or do you want to go through curtains? And the guy that we were with was like, I don't want to go through curtains.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Alton Towers, one of their haunted houses are much scarier.
But this was scary enough. I mean,
those stairs, stairs were the scary
people
parts.
were going to grab you on the stairs or something because you were going up and down stairs.
But then this guy kind of spoiled it. I'll say it. Like, they're not going to try to scare you when you're on stairs because that's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Right. And they can't touch you, but man, they can come awfully close.
Mm-hmm.
In your face.
Then what's weird about Fuji Q is that when it's raining, their roller coasters will close, but you know what stays open? Their water rides.
Yeah. Everybody kept watching the water ride. It was like
the Rapids ride, the log flume, and the Shoot the Chutes, those all stayed.
And the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, and the carousel. Both of them.
Everybody, isn't that the one that we went up the tower also?
That was,
Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's coming up.
Hagashima Zoo?
Yeah, with the,
Slope shooter, yeah.
But, yeah, people were like, you got to do something in the rain because we were there. And so they're like, how was the haunted hospital? It was okay. Scared me, didn't scare the guys I was with, but,
It scared you?
Well, I mean, when they jumped out at you or the clinging on the floor or...
All 4 times.
Yeah. What scared me most was the guy behind us screaming at every little thing.
Sorry. I'm kidding. Then we did the Ferris wheel, where the Ferris wheel is known for 2 separate ride experiences.
Yep.
And to be honest, you would have been okay with the second experience. Yes, you would have, and I'll explain why. The first experience is just like a traditional Ferris wheel where you go around once and it's like, I don't know, 200-300 feet tall. Maybe not even that much. And it's fully enclosed. However, it was extremely hot and rainy, so
we opened windows.
Yeah, you're allowed to instead of being from glass enclosed nerve center, coaster radio, instead of being glass enclosed car or cabins, you can actually lower them so that way you're getting some nice cool outside air, but you're also getting rain, so you had to make do.
Right.
That's
but otherwise,
Toshimaen.
I know. Otherwise, it would have been humid and...
Yeah, it would have been too humid. But what was weird is I think they were playing music in the Ferris wheel cabins. I think that might have been a dark ride that we didn't do.
Oh, maybe.
Anyway, yeah, in in Thomas Land, it looks like there's a dark rider. That might be a show. I don't know what it is. But it's enclosed in a building or cave.
Hmm.
We're getting distracted. So anyway, as it was raining, I was like, the Ferris wheel's going. Okay, you want to do a Ferris wheel? Like, and
Not really, but I did do it.
she had previously gotten scared on a like 30, maybe like 50-foot tall model that was in the mall at Paramagico. So she's not a huge carousel person, but with this one, she
Carousel, Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel person. The okay, this wasn't. Never mind. So then I was like, what the heck? I'm in Japan. I might as well do it. I want to do the glass Ferris wheel. Where what it was is it was a Ferris wheel where it was completely glass covered, so it was kind of see through. So it was a see through
But
cabins.
you couldn't look behind you. You could only look one way.
That wasn't the only thing that made this not so scary. And that's not the only thing that you would have found it more tolerable. Is that I know, let me guess, you were scared that you'd see how high you were because of the ground? The floor being see-through?
Just looking out. Yeah, no.
Yeah, the floor
Wasn't see through.
no, it was like completely fogged.
But
You
it could
couldn't
have been see through.
Yeah, but you couldn't see anything. I couldn't see anything through it, so it just felt like it was glass enclosed.
Because when
But
it rains there, it's either a cold rain or it's a humid rain.
when was it cold rain?
Before the
Oh, at that Suzuka circuit, right?
we had a couple days of real wet, cold rain.
Okay, yeah. So it's either
right
wet.
before the typhoon.
That was the day before the typhoon, before Parkas Panda. Um,
Well, we had 2 days of rain before the typhoon, and then
and then I did. We'll wrap this up. Then uh, Ijanica I didn't get to do because it rained and it never. I don't think it reopened. I think they might have sent a train for a test run, but they were like, nope, it's closed.
one thing that was nice about this park, though, is if you purchased fast passes, they were giving you refunds.
Yeah, so that was good. Dixie Landing. Anyway,
Knock it off.
well, I'm still upset about that.
It's done. It's over. You're never going back. Just stop. Move on.
You mean you don't want to use those free tickets?
Just let's wrap this up, okay? It's getting late.
Okay, I did say I rode Fujiyama, so I was like, well, it has lap bar, so Togo, good. You won't bash my ears. Uh, this ride is such a split personality attraction. The first part of it is actually pretty good. Like the first drop is actually smooth, and I got a little bit of airtime. Then you go back up, then you go up. I think I got a little float. Then you do a nice flat turn. Comfortable and smooth. I'm like, wow, this might actually be a good Togo coaster. Go down the drop. Also smooth. You go through a hill. Smooth. And I'm like, Togo, you finally figured it out after so many years. And then it hit a turn, and I was like, nope, you just got lucky for the most part. You hired another company to design this layout, and now you've taken over or something.
Yep.
It still shows about how it was the Guinness World Record for the world's tallest coaster, and it's not. It might have. I didn't enjoy it, partly because, I have kneecaps, but also I didn't enjoy it because it was raining, so I was getting pelted with rain at like 80 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Was that the last train that they sent out that day?
Yes.
Okay, so I just got under the radar. Um, that would be significantly helped if it had two trains, but I don't. Fuji Q, I don't know. It's just a Japan issue where they don't like to run multiple trains on their coasters. Um, Thunder Dolphin and the Thunder Dolphin, the standing loop coaster, and the spin runway. I think of all the parks, those were and the Wild Mouse was actually running multiple trains, so that was good. Those were the exceptions for the most part. Then I went on this. What is it called? Do you have Fuji Q?
So do you. There you go.
You talk for a little bit.
Oh, what? You were just going to talk about the ride.
Uh,
We were deciding whether we were leaving this park early or not because of all the rain and the rides that were closed down.
and you wouldn't be able to ride any of the rides because they were closed down.
And this place had more stuff on Mount Fuji and not magnets and stuff on this park. It was kind of different.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been nice to go to Mount Fuji, but
19.
we were, I think, at the base of it or something. We were close.
Okay, now I remember
We
the
were
attraction.
near the Mount Fuji.
Now I remember the attraction. The Fuji Airways. This was actually good, and it's a Soarin' style attraction, so Kay didn't ride it because she wasn't a fan of Soarin'. Um, Disney fans, prepare to leave your comments. I like this. I like the Airlines more than Soarin' Around the World at California Adventure. The reason why is because the quote unquote scents or the smells, I didn't experience any around the world smells. This one, I actually smelled like flowers and trees and pine and stuff.
I don't remember you telling me that.
I didn't? Oh. Well,
No.
this was when I was upset.
Oh.
So that was kind of cool. It was so good. Jeremy actually did it twice.
Wow.
Also because it was indoors and it was operating.
Okay.
So yeah, Fuji Q, a second train on Fujiyama, and yeah, maybe some maintenance and stuff on Fujiyama as well. Um, After that, we all agreed to leave the park. We stopped along the way because Japan bus drivers aren't allowed to drive more than what, 90 minutes?
90 minutes, and then they get a 20-minute break. And it was 2 hours to the hotel.
So,
It was okay to
yeah.
stop because everyone spent money. So all these vendors and, at these truck stops were making some money.
And I'll say this completely out of context. I wanted them to stop once, and 10 minutes later they stopped. What?
We'll get to that. That wasn't on this day.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna bring that up.
Okay,
like
why
full
bring
details.
it up at all? Yeah, you don't need to.
But they were
okay?
very. Our bus driver was accommodating in terms of. You want me to stop soon? Okay, I will try to find a stop.
Okay, let's wrap it up because we've been talking a long time.
Okay.
Only about 5 parks.
Join us next time where we're going to do a pretty good discussion on the Tokyo Disney parks.
And we'll try to speed it up for you.
Disney nerds, get ready for that.
Bye.
Bye.